Hey again, welcome back to MMA the Hard Way. This week I wanted to go through some of the numbers from UFC for 2011 and take a look at UFC in 2012. So I've done a little bit of research, taken a look at the pay-per-view numbers, so let's take a look. In 2011, the UFC put on 27 events around the world, with a total live gate of just under 60 million and a total attendance of almost 350,000. Some of the biggest events took place in Las Vegas, with 3 of them breaching the $3 million live gate threshold. On TV, we also saw free events, 4 on Versus, 6 on Spike, and then the big fight on Big Fox. To put this one event into perspective, it accounted for 67% of the total TV viewers for the entire year. This year they want to put on 48 events. 13 are going to be pay-per-view and the rest are going to be available on free TV, with 32 available on Fox-owned networks. Now, there's also some other programming. Here's how the other programming breaks down. Shows that you used to see on Spike and Versus are now going to be available on either Fuel or FX. Shows like UFC Unleashed are going to be on Fuel, and the Fight Nights are going to be on FX. They're also going to have 24 live tough events. And the primetime shows and the prelims are going to be available on Fuel TV. There's also new shows being added. That new Jay Glazer show has just been added. I just saw that. So it's time for me to basically reprogram my DVR. In the next couple of months, there are a ton of killer events coming up. I cannot wait. To start off with, this Friday, we have the first ever UFC on FX, Gillard versus Miller. Then UFC on Fox 2, Evans versus Davis. Now it's going to be Bisping versus Sonnen because Munoz got hurt. What I'm looking forward to is UFC 143. Go see this in the movie theaters if you can. It's going to be in 3D for the first time ever. Then we've got UFC on Fuel TV. And if that's not enough, you've got UFC 144 taking place in Japan. Edgar versus Henderson. That's going to be huge. I'm telling you, you got to see this Fathom event. See the UFC 143 in a theater. I saw GSP and Hardy at the theater, and it was incredible. Later in the year, we've got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. UFC on FX2 in Australia, that's when the flyweight tournament begins. Then in April, we get 2 Ultimate Fighters at the same time. UFC on Fuel TV 2 in Sweden. Then the UFC's going back to Brazil and Sao Paulo. That's going to be huge. Then UFC on Fox 3. I think this is going to be the heavyweight title fight between Dos Santos and Overeem. On those Ultimate Fighter shows, 24 of them are going to be live. And then probably sometime later in the year, we're finally going to see George St. Pierre's return.